Stephen McDonnell in Beijing, thank you. And this afternoon at 2:30, our correspondent Paul Adams will be answering some of your questions about the situation in North Korea. So if you have any questions, do send them 61124 on text, or use the hashtag BBC Ask This on social media. Or of course you can email us at askthis@bbc.co.uk. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are expecting their third child, Kensington Palace has announced. The Queen and both families are said to be delighted at the news. As with her previous two pregnancies, the Duchess is suffering from severe morning sickness and she's being cared for at Kensington Palace. Well, I'm joined now by our royal correspondent, Nicholas Witchell. Can you tell us any more, Nick?
Not really. No, I mean, that is, in essence, what has been said by Kensington Palace. They've clearly been forced to announce this because the Duchess is suffering from this acute morning sickness, as was the case with her previous two pregnancies, so she's had to cancel an engagement today in Hornsey Road Children's Centre, where she was due, but that's had to be cancelled, which of course has forced their hand to disclose that she is pregnant with the couple's third child. No idea when it would be due, but just doing the kind of basic calculations, I think one must expect that it will be due perhaps early spring, February, March, but at this point we don't know any more about that. In terms of their family, it's quite a significant week for them because Prince George is due to start at big school later this week, so presumably his mother would be keen to take him to that later this week, a school in Battersea in South London, quite a long journey from Kensington Palace. Now, whether she's going to be well enough to do that remains to be seen, but clearly a significant moment for George. He, of course, is now 4, born in July 2013. Charlotte, who is now 2, born in May 2015, and the two of them will now expect a third addition, a sibling, an addition to the family sometime early in 2018.
One assumes, Nick, that this is probably going to have very little impact on succession to the throne, but as we've seen with those overseas tours, there is huge interest in the royal children, isn't there?
Well, there is. This child will be 5th in line to the throne. Charles, William, George, Charlotte, and then this child will take his or her position, 5th in line to the throne. Talking of foreign travel, it had been expected that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge would be undertaking a foreign visit this autumn. That was certainly anticipated in their autumn programme. Now again, whether they will be able to do that or whether the Duchess will be well enough to do that, of course, now remains to be seen. She has, as we know, suffered from this hyperemesis gravidarum, or acute morning sickness in ordinary language, for both of her previous two pregnancies, and she did have to cancel a visit, I recall, to Malta because of that, and the Duke went ahead with that on his own. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, clearly she is now receiving treatment at Kensington Palace, hydration and nutrients and medication according to this, and it's a kind of temporary thing, isn't it, a phase in the pregnancy, so hopefully she will recover from that and perhaps be able to resume some royal duties.
Nicholas Witchell, our royal correspondent, thank you. Let's talk to the royal historian now, Hugo Vickers. And Hugo Vickers, baby number 3, very exciting for the royal family?
Yes, and it's nice to have some good news, isn't it, amongst all the things that we hear. Of course, the most interesting part of this is that whatever sex the baby is, it will not push Princess Charlotte out of the line of succession down a point, so, because it's all been changed. So you will, as Nick was saying, you'll have first of all Prince Charles, then Prince William, then Prince George, then Princess Charlotte, and then if it's a boy or a girl, it will take its place behind Princess Charlotte. So that's quite interesting, I think. And the other point, of course, is that it does push Prince Harry back another point. He goes back 6th in line to the throne, which of course means that there's even less chance of him becoming king, which possibly makes it a little easier for him to marry whomsoever he wishes.
Oh, do you have some inside intelligence on that, Hugo?
No. I just thought it was a point worth making.
Yes. As Nick said, it is a very significant week for them because Prince George is about to start school, and of course last week we had the anniversary of the death of Princess Diana.
Yes, but I think that the nice thing is that move things on and we go forward now. We had an awful lot of sort of memories of Diana, some good, some less good, and I think it was a significant anniversary, but I think we would all now wish to move on, and this is something really exciting to look forward to. It's sort of good, positive news, always exciting when another royal baby comes along, and just hope that the young Duchess isn't suffering too much at home.
And of course, we know that the Queen is in Scotland today to open the Firth of Forth Bridge, but presumably there will be delight amongst members of the royal family.
Yes, I'm sure. And of course, what's interesting about that is that Prince Philip, who announced his so-called retirement, is accompanying the Queen, I understand, today. Good to know that he's with her and taking his place as usual. They're both firing on all cylinders. He's 96, she's 91, and they're the best example of two people who should never retire.
Hugo Vickers, good to talk to you. Many thanks. Now, the government faces a key test of its authority.